Wake Up, a brand new update has arrived in Marvel Strike Force. That means Dark Dimension 8 and Odin are on the way soon. What should you do to get ready right now? We also have Knull as all but confirmed is coming to Marvel Strike Force. What does this mean for you? And once again, commanders and dev have listened to your feedback. Another bad event got changed before it went live, and I'm discussing all of these topics and more in this edition of your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. This week, I am joined all the way from Sin City by my brother MobileGamer, and if you're ready for all of these topics and more than Mobile, let them know what to do.
Let's go smash it!
Oh yeah, welcome back to the ValleyFlyin channel. I am ValleyFlyin, this is MobileGamer, and this is your Marvel Strike Force Weekly News Update. We do this every single week, keeping you up to date on everything that has happened and is upcoming in Marvel Strike Force. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button for more Marvel Strike Force content. At least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on the channel. Usually more news videos like this, question and answer videos, gameplay videos, reveal videos, everything you have to experience in Marvel Strike Force. But Mobile, I haven't seen you since Vegas. How have you been doing? And what was it like at Nerd Bar? Did it meet your expectations?
I think next time we're gonna go try to do it at Dave & Buster's. The location was hard to find, and
everybody that showed up said they couldn't find it.
Yeah, I think people got lost. Parking was a hassle, so offsite at Dave & Buster's I think will be better next time.
Yeah, so we had some fun at Fremont Street going around. You could check out MobileGamer's stream on that. It was a fun time. But how has your experience been so far in Marvel Strike Force? What's your week been like? A lot of ups and downs with the communities, devs making some bad game decisions, then reverting them, making it good. So what has your experience been like this week in Strike Force?
So the number one question I have is, why does it have to be like this? I mean, there's a lot of stuff we're going to talk about, but like some of this frustration and confusion that's been going on this week seems largely unnecessary. And we'll talk about it.
All right. Well, let's start. We will talk about that, but let's start with this new update. Version 8.3 unofficially arrived. I guess there's no real official release date now that they're doing these over-there changes, but iOS got the update yesterday. I'm not sure when it's going out to Android. One of the big things that is coming in this update is this change to Cosmic Crucible. That was one of the big things announced in last week's blog post. The Cosmic Crucible ratings changes. So what they're saying, starting with Season 10, was significantly reducing the number of times where you set your tribunal rating each year. The number of points you earn for winning will change based on your tribunal rating. So if you're below 1100, which is like gold 1 or something like that, on winning, you'll earn more points than your opponent loses. Tribunal ratings 1100 to 1899, and I think that is like diamond number 2 or something like that. Winning, you'll earn the same amount of points as your opponent loses. 1900 to 2699, that is going all the way past Grandmasters. On winning, you earn less points than your opponent loses, and on winning, you're earning at least 1 point if you're above 2700. I didn't know it was possible to get that high into tribunal ratings, but this has been a problem for a while, Mobile. The Cosmic Crucible, the trophies, they're just shrinking, and more players are moving to these lower ranks, and that's been happening for a while. We've wanted a solution. I don't know if this solution is good enough. What do you think of this solution? Is that gonna help to alleviate the trophy issue that's been going on for a while?
I mean, it's hard to predict exactly how this is going to play out. My big question is, why did it take so long to make these changes? The changes look overall good, and I understand why they want to do it this way. The main reason why they want to do this way, if you look at Alliance War, there's alliances that have run away with the trophies or whatever they're called in Alliance War, where they have an amount where they could never drop to the lower level. So this system right here should allow for people to get to the top level without going to 20,000 points or whatever points. You know, they're going to hit a wall when they cross above 2,700. Now, the original system for Cosmic Crucible accounted for that. The problem was, I don't think they accounted for attrition. And so it became compressed, and then there was a very few number of players that are making the Grandmasters, where when initially it came out, there was, right? And that number is shrinking and shrinking, and everybody's getting moved towards the middle. So it was a flawed system. Again, I don't know why it took this long to fix. I think the new system will probably be better. We'll have to see.
Yeah, it seems like it's better. I have your question as well, because this took many updates to get this into the game. We've complained about this since probably towards the beginning of this year. Is spring,
yeah. I mean, I think this is at least 6-7 months where concerns were initially raised from the envoys anyways.
Yeah, and I think it's been going on way before that. I thought there would be a more complicated solution. I'm a little disappointed it's so simple that they didn't do this a while ago, just not reducing our trophies when the season resets, making sure that we're getting more points at the lower levels than losing when we lose. I hope this works, but yeah, let me know your thoughts, Valley Club, on this, because this is gonna introduce some new rules for Cosmic Crucible as well. Like the Cosmic Crucible tournament, the competitors will be playing under the new Season 10 rules early access server. That is going to be tomorrow. A bunch of content creators are going to participate in that. Woo! Myself, yourself, and guys, there is some voting on the web right now, so make sure you vote for your favorite content creator. I don't think you get anything different if you win, if you're a content creator that you're voting for wins, right? You're just getting for voting.
Yeah, so basically it's been, and there's only today and tomorrow left, so it's 75 of each, but it's been going on for a total of 7 days.
Yeah, so make sure you get your votes in. Just vote for whoever you want. Like I said, I don't think it matters who wins, but we're going to be playing with this new Season 10 rules. I know you haven't looked at them too much, but what are some of your predictions for what we could have in store? Well, we've had some different rules based on the more recent teams. I mean, the current season right now is based on Illuminati. Before that, we've had season based on Cabal, other characters. What do you think this is going to be based on? I know the new team right now is the Annihilators, but we also have Orchis coming up. What are you predicting for some of these new rules? Do you think there's gonna be some crazy rooms that we're gonna have to deal with in this next season?
I have no idea. I've not looked at the room rules yet, and your guess is good as mine. There's no apparent new Cosmic Crucible team being introduced with this season, so I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, when we do the tournament, everybody's going to have a level 100 account. All the characters are going to be geared to your 19, 7 yellow, 7 red, so no diamonds on the team. No Mephisto either, and we're going to have the Orchis team to play around with. So based on that, Mobile, who do you think is going to come out on top? First winner was Duelam. Second winner was Dorky Dad. Who do you think is going to come out of this time? Is it going to be you this time?
Well, I got to tell you, there's 3 names in here that I have leaned on quite heavily for suggestions in Cosmic Crucible. And all of the players
are my alliance mates.
Yes,
and
2 of them are your alliance mates. Yeah, so I have a lot of respect for every single person that's playing in this tournament, but the ones that I don't particularly want to be matched up with is going to be Duelam, Juicy, and Dorky Dad.
Yeah, I think those have the highest chance of winning as well. So let me know your votes, guys, and make sure you get your votes in, get your free power cores. But let's go back to this release notes, MobileGamer, because they mentioned a Dark Dimension 8 Planner coming soon. Strategize your way through the upcoming Dark Dimension with our latest updated Dark Dimension Planner on the Marvel Strike Force website. It's not there yet, but it does mean that Dark Dimension 8 is coming very, very soon. Sometime in this update. When are you predicting we're getting Dark Dimension 8? In the next week, the next 2 weeks, sometime towards the end of this update? What are you predicting as far as a timing thing? Obviously, it is coming in this update based on this data.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it's as soon as people think, but we'll have to see. Also, this planner is not likely to be available until it's showing in game. I feel like that's the way the Dark Dimension 7 planner worked as well. Like it didn't happen in advance of it being in game.
Gotcha. I think some people are saying like it launches the day that it goes live in the game or the day or something like that. But,
that's the general feeling. I don't know if that's 100% true, but that's the general feeling. I don't know when. I don't know.
All right. Well, the big reward for Dark Dimension 8 is gonna be this guy, the All-Father Odin. How ready for Odin are you right now? How many characters do you have at the purple ISO 8 level 3 that could get in there? I think we need 25 total. I don't think you could double dip on some of these characters. So how many do you have right now?
Like 5. I mean, it's very minimal.
5. Okay. Yeah. And the big 5 that you're using in arena is some characters like Apocalypse. Mephisto.
It's mythics, and I've been working on Annihilators.
Annihilator. All right. Yeah, I'm doing similar characters. I'm working on like the Annihilators. I got Gladiator done. Apocalypse just got done. Old Man Logan is a character that I'm working on. Super Squad. And I just got Mephisto this week, so I'm working on him as well. But that's what I'm working on for Dark Dimension 8. I'm a little further behind than you. I don't think I have quite 5 characters yet.
It does seem to me that there are people that have all their characters ready, and the amount of money they have spent, even though it's a high number, but it is significantly lower than Dark Dimension VII, Dark Dimension VI. I mean, just to throw out some numbers, and I don't have any, this is all secondhand information, but you know, people that entered into Dark Dimension VII, Dark Dimension VI, you know, you hear these wild numbers of tens of thousands of dollars for the people to be first into those particular dark dimensions, you know, 20,000, 30,000. And I have no verification that any of these numbers are real. And then I'm hearing numbers on the order of $1,000 for Odin. I mean, that's just what I've been hearing.
Now, some of the Dark Dimension 7 was because if it's a brand new gear tier, right? Because we went from orange to teal, and we had the first number of the Crimson gear in for Dark Dimension 8 to gear to 19. So I think some of that was played into that because nobody had a surplus of any of the catalysts or anything like that. So now I think it's a little easier to get into whenever Dark Dimension 9 comes in. But yeah, significantly easier. I'm hearing like a couple weeks ago, people had all their characters ready, were ready to go for this. So there's some that are going to be ready right off the bat. Now, he is going to be a very, very strong character. We were talking about his kit before we started recording. This battlefield effects from his basic. It's pretty much seeming like he's going to be doing a big AoE attack every single time enemy attacks, right? What do you think of this battlefield effect when you first saw this?
All right, so I have some questions about this because this is going to be popping off a lot, right? And it's going to be doing damage, and then there's going to be healing. It's going to be clearing 2 positive effects, and we're going to Hellsteel, all this stuff, right? And I think that is great. I feel like this type of ability is stat dependent, and the classic example of that would be Black Bolt and his pings, right? How effective are they really? Yet the same thing happened with Kestrel, and then they ramped the damage up on Kestrel, and then it became very important, the ping. So this is something that's going to be going off, you know, and all the time. I mean, he has 100% assist mechanic. When the battlefield effect is up, anytime an enemy takes a turn, this is going to be popping off. And so it's, for me, I'm not sure how strong Odin is going to be. I suspect that it's insane. Also, this is the type of character I would expect that this part of his kit will be power crept earlier than other parts of his kit.
Probably. Now, I'm not sure how weak he's going to be because there's going to be 2 versions in the game, right? The baby Odin and then the big boy Odin. The baby Odin is still going to have 5 gold stars on him, and what is it? 3 red stars for baby?
Something like that. It's like 4-7 or 2-5, I think.
So something like that. But so it's not going to be a totally weak character like we get with the Annihilators right now. Some of the characters at 3-3. So it's going to do some damage, but obviously when you reach his final form, he's going to be giving the most damage, and people are going to level 100 this character up right away. Probably gear 19 this character up right away. So he's going to be a top 10 character. He's going to be amazing. You know, he's going to be oppressive, and he's going to be very strong. I mean, he's going to feel, you know, mythic or legendary, whatever they're going to be. You know, I know he's mythic. I don't know that he's going to be stronger than Mephisto. I suspect that Mephisto is still going to be very strong. Odin in conjunction with Mephisto is going to be a force in Crucible. I know we're going to talk about that. And then one of the ways to defeat Odin, because most of his abilities are based off of percentage max health, and Mephisto has a way of dropping that. So I feel like in some ways, Odin is going to make Mephisto more important rather than less important because of the synergies and the way to beat Odin. You know, Odin, Mephisto is going to be part of that conversation. Possibly. I mean, all these mythic characters are still important. I mean, I still use Dormammu. I still use Doom nowadays. So they take a while to go out of the meta. So I mean, Ultimates just came back in the meta.
And they should, right? I mean, they're living up to what they're supposed to be. And I think a Doom is a good example of that, right? Doom is very unpredictable, but when he works, it's amazing, right? How old is Doom? How old is Doom? Like years and years.
Was that Dark Dimension 3? Was that Dark Dimension 3?
I don't know. I mean, we're going back
something like that.
4 years. I don't know, a long time. But anyways.
Yeah. All right. So this special is where it's all going to start, right? It's going to start. It's going to give him his charges. That's going to give him a turn meter. Also, this line here: clear exhaust from self and all allies. Flip negative effects into positive effects. Could this be a problem? We were talking about this earlier about Mephisto and clearing exhausted, and the way to beat Mephisto is to get 2 exhausts on him in Cosmic Crucible. If you can't, you get 2 exhausts on Mephisto because of this special here. Does this make him and Mephisto a combo unkillable in Cosmic Crucible, or will they have some solution before this becomes a problem?
So I don't think they'll make them unkillable, no. But it does create a problem that makes gameplay unfun. So, you know, you're going to be able to. So the idea with Mephisto is to double sack 2 stacks of exhausted. So you go in once, you go in twice, and then you're able to kill Mephisto sometimes on the 3rd attack. The problem with Odin is that the first attack happens, then you load into battle on the 2nd attack, and they have 1 stack of exhausted. If Odin does this special, you're going to be screwed on the 3rd attack. So I believe that the popular strategy for, you know, coming towards the Odin Mephisto combo is to go into the 2nd sack battle and then immediately hit the button on the top left-hand corner, and then you're gonna have to wait 5 minutes to time out. So this was brought up to the developers, and my hope and my suggestion was for them to introduce a forced lose, so you don't have to sit there for 5 minutes.
So it's not quitting out of a battle, you're just putting exhaust in the characters, you lose your team, but you don't have to wait for that.
Yeah, otherwise you're sitting there letting it time out for 5 minutes.
How often does that happen in Cosmic Crucible? I hate that. That is such a waste of time.
Well,
That'll be a good
with
thing.
Odin plus Mephisto, the 2nd sack will probably have to be a timeout.
All right, so that could be a problem. Hopefully there's some solution before it even becomes an issue. It has been made known to the devs. And then if we look at the way this works, right? He does his special, he gets the charges, he gets 100% speed from the charges.
Yeah.
He's eventually gonna lose the last charge because he's losing a charge anytime an enemy takes a turn. Then he gets 10 ability energy, lights up with this Odin force.
He also, when he does his special, he gets speed up. He also gets speed up. So he's going to be double speed plus another 50%. He's going to be pushing 400 speed.
Ooh. All right. So yeah, so he's going to take a lot of turns off the bat. He's going to do his special. He's going to do his ultimate. He's eventually going to do his basic as well. This character's going to be strong. Is he going to have anything left on subsequent turns, or is he more like a first, second, third turn, just wipe you out and then nothing left?
Well, I mean, when he takes a turn and he's got the 1 charge, because the charges drop every time an enemy takes a turn, and then eventually when he gets to 1, he's going to get 10 ultimate ability. So this is not special energy, it's ultimate ability. So he's going to do the AoE, and then, you know, it's going to take a while to get back to the 8, but the thing is, he's going so fast that 8 is not going to be that far away. I mean, when he's going 3 times faster than a lot of people on your team, or some number, right? I mean, just on the outside, you know, without the speed up, it's 256. You add 50% more to that, it's 300 and something, right? Not quite 400, but 300 and something, right? He's going to be taking a lot of turns, and so he's going to be getting back up to that 8, starting the whole thing over again. Fine.
All right, so I know he's not on a test server yet. But when he's eventually in the game, do you think this kit is gonna work like it's supposed to, or there's gonna be some?
No, we've had three big problems of late. And I know that's later in the video, or do you want to talk about that now? But we've had three big screw-ups.
Yeah, I mean, problems with Annihilators. We'll talk about them. We got a whole different section for that. But yeah, Annihilators were screwed up. It's like every kid gets screwed up. So there's gonna be something screwed up with this.
Ares was screwed.
What is your prediction? What is going to be broken on Odin's kit when it is released? Let me know in the comments.
If I was a betting man, you know, and I bet $1, I would bet that something on this kit's going to be broken.
There will be. It's not a question of what it's not if, it's what is going to be broken. But more exciting news, with update drop, we got some new data mines, and we kind of got teased of this with the introduction of the new CM. But We have the moments that I don't know if it's been officially talked about, so I don't know if we could talk about that. And I think it's been changed a few times, but moments also there. But Knull confirmed coming to the game. We see some framework for his sword. We see some ability icons for his special, his basic, his passive, and his ultimate. We see more of the framework for what he's going to look like. What Quick Draw says, Knull will mostly fly into battle based on this thing that says about prop wings. Ability icons label PvE boss, which might lead to him being a boss in Battle World. This tornado here, this dragon mesh thing, and Knull's throne. And what we saw previously from the new CM's introduction was this, which kind of confirmed that last week as well. So what do you think of Knull coming to the game? What do you think of this potentially being a boss for Battle World? And is this better than what we originally saw? I think we originally had a different character as the boss. Would this be a much better boss than the original thing that we saw?
Oh, well, okay. There's a couple things. You want me to talk about moments?
There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, do you want me to talk about, because you kind of skipped over the moments, so we can talk about moments too. You were talking about Battle World and Knull? Okay, yeah.
I'm not sure what we could talk about moments, so I'll leave it up to you if you want to discuss that.
No, because the data miners said that largely the moment section was empty and it had a lot of placeholder values, which to me meant that none of it's ready to go. There was not a lot of data other than a shell for files, and like one of the things that one of the data miners told me is that you can't equip moments unless your character level 200, and that's a placeholder value. So there was nothing in any sense from the data mine that's that the people that's got this information, that scraped this information, just suggest that was anywhere near being finalized, or they only let us see this or whatever, right? As far as Knull goes, Quick Draw, who did the data mines right here, suggests that it was going to be a PvE boss. So if you scroll down right there, it says the PvE boss, because the ability icons were labeled PvE boss, would point to Knull being a boss in Battle World.
Yes.
So, but yes, this seems significantly better than what we saw last fall when we were back at Scopely HQ. Do you want to say what we said? Because we had very visceral feedback to them. And a lot of dissatisfaction.
Well, screw it. I mean, it's been changed. Magneto was supposed to be the character, right?
Yeah.
It was supposed to be Magneto. That was horrible. It's like, why would we have Magneto? He's already in game. That's going to develop no hype. We suggested a few other characters. I think this is better than some of our suggestions, though.
Yeah. So, I remember going, why? There's nothing exciting about making Magneto the boss in Battle World. And a lot of us were even saying, can you at least do Onslaught? You know what I mean? And so
that's similar enough and different enough that it could be kind of cool.
Not Magneto, right? We've been there, done that. Not interesting, not exciting, no hype. I feel that Knull does bring hype. Now, this is all data mines right here. And
this could definitely change. This could change. All of this could change. Nothing's been official.
Yeah, nothing official. So this is solely data mines at this point.
Yeah. All right. So Knull or Onslaught? If you had your pick of the boss for Battle World, what would your choice be if it was up to you?
No. Yeah, but there you go.
All right. I would pick Knull as well.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to the game. Let me know your thoughts on Knull Valley Club. Would you have preferred Onslaught or Knull? I think Onslaught was just suggested. I don't think that's something that they threw in there. But yeah, you guys saw in the 2023 preview, they had Magneto in the Battle World files there. So anyway, Shattered Dimension. This is a big topic this weekend. My goodness. All right. So initially, we saw something that we can't describe, but with Masters Missions 1 and 2, it had Annihilators at Gear Tier 16. That was it, which was weird because the normal missions, the hard missions, you had options of Cosmic. The Legendary and Mythic missions, which are supposed to be harder, you had other options to use Legendary, Mythic characters. The boss missions, you had options to use other Illuminati characters. This Masters one was weird though. So why do you think they structured it like this? And then we'll go on. But let me ask you one question. A lot of times I ask a bunch of questions at once. Why do you think they structured it like this, Mobile?
Okay, well, first of all, I gotta ask,
before they fix this.
Well, hold on. I gotta ask the same question. Why does it have to be this way? So there was a call on Friday were specifically addressed by the envoys that if any of the requirements inside of the Shattered Dimensions are 3 Annihilators, it's going to be a big problem. So a monstrous problem. And the reason why it's a problem, and we're going to go over some data, is that let's say there's 2 individuals in Alliance and both of them are veteran players and both of them are free to play. Yeah. There's a percent chance that one of them would have gotten lucky and have 3 Annihilators ready to go. So in theory, a veteran player has Silver Surfer and Ultimus, right? And then they may have gotten lucky. Probably Gladiator's the most obvious one, Gladiator, but any one of the 3, they could have got a big drop, right? And then they would, but some of them, and we have some data that's kind of not factual, but just this idea that one person could get into it where another couldn't, even though most people could probably get into it, and they're saying, whoa, we're giving out more shards. It doesn't change the fact that there were going to be some free-to-play players excluded. So there was a lot of discussion about this. They acknowledged it, and they changed the first 2 sections that were Annihilators to and/or Cosmic, but didn't do it in the last one. Why does it have to be like this? It's like, did they not hear us the first time? And then when they published and said, oh, get screwed on, the one that you got there in orange, Annihilators, Masters Missions 1 through 2, that you said minimum of 3 Annihilators, that and/or Cosmic had to be added at the last minute. Initially, the and/or Cosmic had to be added because we complained about it on Friday. So I don't know why does it have to be like this? Why does it have to be like this? That's the question.
It's like this every time, Mobile Gamer. I don't know if you mentioned Temporal Dimension 1, which is kind of the newer pocket dimensions. That had issues too. Because when we had the pocket dimensions, I don't know if you remember when it first started, it was like very easy. It was like pretty much auto, and we got some pretty good rewards. Like, oh, this is cool rewards, but you could just give us the rewards. Why even make this content that's so mind-numbingly easy to get through that? So they started making it harder. Then they released Temporal Dimension this year. That was super hard. Players complained. They gave out a bunch of health packs and stuff, so everybody was eventually able to, or most players were eventually able to get through that. So they released it in a bad way, then they fixed it. Then came Temporal Dimension 2, where they required the Illuminati. But at the time, we didn't have Black Panther Shuri or Hank Pym's event. We may have had Black Panther Shuri, but you needed more Illuminati than they had. So then they reduced that. So they became playable in a friendly way. Everybody is playing it. Then they have these requirements. The community gets upset. They change it. Now everybody can do this again. But I guess my same question: why do they keep doing it like this, Mobile? Do you think they have intention of releasing it bad, having the community get upset, and then fixing it, or like if they release it and say, all right, can we get away with this? Can we get away with this? Oh, the community is all right. Let's move it to how we originally intended. What do you think is going on there?
I don't think that I don't know or if they're doing it on purpose or not. I mean, I typically default into incompetence over malice category. There's some saying, never assume malice when when simply incompetence would answer the question, right? Is it incompetence or malice? I lean on the incompetence. Either way, it's a bad look. There's a whole debate. This particular situation kind of has pushed me towards the malice, like them withholding the release of Gladiator. Their intent was to have the second set of nodes right there at the very top be paywalled, right? Yeah. And then not giving us the information on the Gladiator event being stalled. The only thing I could think of is maybe the creators of this event were not tied into what the marketing team was trying to do. Like somebody in the marketing team got a great day. Let's not give free-to-play players access to Hank Pym right away and also Gladiator. And then they're like, well, we designed it around people having the characters by now. I don't know. But the question is, why does it have to be like this? I mean, it could be a left hand, right hand problem. And my issue is more about pay to play rather than pay to win. Yeah. In some weird way, this game has always been pay to win. And
I think most mobile games are. And most free to play are pay to win. I think that's just how it is.
And largely, most of the community is okay with this idea on some level, right? Yeah, I spent a lot of money on XYZ and I'm going to get an advantage here, right? That's the general idea. That's just how the game is structured. Now, What's interesting about this, and the reason why I took a hard line to this, is that this made pay to access, pay to play. Certain players,
is not good, yeah.
Yeah, and it may be even a small percentage of players are going to be locked out of playing this event, because if you got stuck on that, second to last section, whatever, or the one that you got highlighted in the orange, not only you restricted from doing the last 3 sections, but you can't replay it the second time, right? Yeah. So that's an issue, right? You can't core your way through it. You can't, be smart about it. You can't watch YouTube videos on how to do it correctly. You're just locked out. You can't even spin your way through with the heals, right? You're just stuck unless you bought Gladiator, right?
That's kind of what they've been doing with Old Man Logan's event.
Yes,
Illuminati's event. It's kind of a trend that they have.
Yes, so we've had this would have been the third example that I can remember off the top of my head of pay to play versus pay to win. Now, I do want to say this: there's always going to be a debate over pay to win. Is the content too easy or over-tuned? And you spoke to that a minute ago. I mean, for me, if this event, I load up the characters and have put auto, and it's a simmable event, that is not engaging. And Scopely has a hard decision to make. Is this content going to be tuned in a way that satisfies in-game players like you and I, and then pisses off a large percentage of the community by being too hard? Or if you don't have Super Scroll, you're going to get screwed on this section. Or if you don't have Mephisto, you're going to get screwed on this section. That's up for them. And there's going to be 2 different camps. Like, some people are going to say, oh, it's too hard. Now, they said this was going to be harder. They explicitly said in the post before this that it was going to be harder than before. So be ready for it to be hard. I mean, they pretty much more or less said in the post that, unless you're an in-game late player, they said they worded it in a way where it said that basically in-game players are going to find this to be challenging and difficult to get through the entire thing. So be ready for it to be hard. We'll see, right? We'll find out today.
Well, this is a poll that you did on your channel. You said it's not factually accurate.
No.
I think it is factually accurate. Maybe the design of it could have been a little different, but shards till your 3rd Annihilator. So this was asking to get the 3rd Annihilator. Are you going to be able to get that in time for this event? 63% was done.
Right.
30 plus more shards, 13%, 10 to 20 more shards, 9%, 20 to 30 more shards, 9%, and 1 to 10 more shards to get them done, 7%. What did you take away from this? Most of the community is this, and did you separate this out by free to play or everybody?
No.
This is the overall community that was watching your channel at the time.
So I kind of already stated my takeaway from this, but this is not super scientific. All I was saying is that some players got lucky and some players didn't. That's all this means. And if there are 2 players in the same alliance, let's say both of them are free to play, both of them are in-game players, one got lucky and one didn't. The one that didn't, which may be 35%. I don't know the exact number because it's not a super scientific poll, but it's a percentage of players. Yeah. Like, and like when I did that video, and then there was a large number of people, so I don't really get it. I've got 3 Annihilators. And then there's other people's like, yeah, I don't have any of the Annihilators, the new Annihilators. So the point is solely based on RNG and luck, some people are going to be able to play the event and some people weren't. And that is very bizarre to me.
Yeah, I don't like it like that. Now, the good thing, like you said, they did switch this. I do want to come back to the difficulty because I want something hard for me. I want something, and you want something that's difficult as well. But that does lock a lot of the players out of it. If you're a newer player, just kind of got some of these characters, maybe you just got some mythic characters. Right. I mean, it says mythic characters. You need to be beating some dark dimensions, so probably not new players getting through this content. But how difficult do you think this is going to be? Are someone like you and me going to be satisfied, and then other players going to be unhappy because it's too difficult? Right. Is it going to be challenging for some mid-game players, and then the end-game players are going to be like, man, this is too easy? What is the line, and what do you think is the proper solution? Because this is a large. It's been a long running game, 5+ years. It's a lot of players all over the place. What is the proper solution for this? Is it maybe next time to make like 2 different dimensions that it gives similar rewards? You could do one.
Why can't there just be a difficulty slider? It's just that simple. Like you load in it and then you slide from, like, let's say this is the base difficulty, right? And you slide to difficulty 2 and everybody gets 10% more stats, and you go to difficulty 3, everybody gets 20% more stats. I mean, how hard would it to be programmed that, you know? And then the max difficulty has whatever, right? And and some people would make the case, well, the higher difficulties you get more rewards, but maybe not. Maybe it'll be a costume or a frame saying you beat the hardest difficulty. Maybe you get a couple. A small amount of
something cosmetic. Cool. I like that.
Yeah, something, because if the event is designed and I can hit auto, well, what's the point? And so, and at the end of the day, it is Scopely's decision on difficulty. You know, are they going to satisfy players like me, which is a segment? It's not the entire community. I'm very aware that there's free to play players and newer players. Or, you know, who are they going to accommodate? And that's up to them. That's their decision. And if they want a real solution, is create multiple tiers, multiple difficulties, put a slider on it, incentivize people in some way to try the hardest difficulty with either cosmetics or a frame, or maybe access to an extra diamond on a character or something, right? You know, maybe, you know, but it doesn't need to be like, you know, the rewards are 6 times greater on the highest difficulty. Maybe they're just a little bit better. I don't know.
Yeah, I do want to add something to that. Put all the milestone points for whatever milestone event is going on in every single difficulty. So if you beat even the easiest difficulty, you got all the points for the milestone event. If you beat the middle one, you get the same amount of milestone points and the same amount of points for the highest difficulty, but maybe you get some better rewards, some cosmetic stuff. I do like that as a solution. So Scopely, come on. If you could code this stuff and switch it around this soon, you could do a couple different difficulties, change some base stats, and make it so everybody could participate in this. All right, we also, in this announcement, got some updates that Thanos, Endgame, and Gore, some of their abilities weren't working properly. Surprise, surprise. So Thanos Endgame, ultimately inevitable culling, was inconsistently reducing the duration of positive effects on enemies. We identified the issues, deployed a fix. So Thanos Endgame Ultimate now is working as intended. Did you have any issues with this? Did you notice any issues with this?
Oh, it was a mess. I ended up putting Skirmisher on Thanos because it wasn't triggering and there's no resist button. It just wasn't coded right. And I played Thanos yesterday, absolutely working night and day different. And also, a lot of people were saying Thanos is terrible, Gore's terrible. Give it a week, we'll find out, right? He was not working correctly. This is somewhat unacceptable in my opinion, because also there was a problem with Ares, with the not preventing safeguard on spawn, with the awakened on this passive wasn't working correctly. They fixed it. And then Gore is a half fix, and a lot of people have been really upset with Gore. But you know, the way it worked before was it looked like it removed
visually
the effect.
It was working. It was working visually.
Yeah, so it was visually working, but the mechanics weren't working. Well, they reversed that now. Mechanically, it works correctly, and I tested it, but visually, it still shows the battlefield effect. And this is in the category of, this is not only in the player's best interests, and players want this, and players are outraged, and they should be, but the developers want this also. Developers want the game to work correctly. So this, to me, I mean, this is not like we need more gold or we need more dark promotion credits, because the developer's like, well, no, you don't. It's on our best interest if you don't have them, because then you'll spend more. This is in everybody's best interest to work. Like, fix this kind of stuff first, and put the effort and the research into making sure that the game works correctly when it's shipped. And then, you know, this doesn't build frustration. There were spenders who spent a lot of money, and they're like, why am I spending all this money on this game if they don't test their stuff doesn't work? Why does it take, you know, us reporting and sending in footage and complaining for all of it to get work right? I don't understand it. I do not understand it.
So my question, what the hell happened to Gladiator? Because that's like the only recent character that seemed to be working properly. Black Panther Shuri, Hank Pym, Ares. Gladiator was working properly. I don't know why. Then Gore not working properly. Endgame Thanos not working properly. What happened to Gladiator?
I don't know. Gladiator's been a pleasant surprise. I mean, he's a pre-taunting tank that is like actually strong. I mean, his safeguard plus defense up, all that stuff, and taunt is quite impactful. And he's thick boy. He's good. He's
horrible facing him. I hate facing Gladiator, man.
Even in Crucible.
Oh. The Crucible and the Raids. Oh, that guy's so annoying.
Yeah, if you're not going in there with like Ares or Apocalypse so that he doesn't spawn with Safeguard, that's an issue. But then he can give himself Safeguard too. So you gotta like get through him or finish him off before he gives himself Safeguard. He's a great character, I'm hopeful that I will feel that way about Thanos and Gore. Thanos, I always suspected to be the superstar. Gore has been a massive disappointment, right?
I think a lot of us expected Thanos to be the superstar. We'll see, though. Nowadays, he's working properly. Maybe he will be the superstar that we thought he was going to be.
Take him to 100. Oh, my God. Do it right now. Take it to 100 right now. You got him at level 98.
All right, let's do it. I was going
to
do it.
I was going to do it after the video.
Let's go.
You're driving me crazy.
I was going to do this anyway before the server. All right, we're good. There we go. All good. But what are your thoughts on this guy? And you played him last night after he started working. Night and day difference. How good is he in Arena now that he's working properly? And what difference is that's going to make in Crucible and War now that he's working properly? His ultimate, Inevitable Culling.
Okay, so it does appear that he's working correctly. Now,
I like that you said appears that he's working properly.
Well, I saw some interesting interactions with his passive, because when he drops below 50%, his passive triggers, right? That's a large part right there. Yeah, not against Mephisto sometimes. I have footage of Mephisto ultimate going off and him dropping below 50%, and it just never triggers for the entire match.
Okay. I wonder if that's something with Mephisto or some weird interaction with his passive. Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a problem with Mephisto more than with Thanos, because there's also some weird interactions with Mephisto in raids. Like if you go into a node and drop the health down and then you back out and come back in, it's kind of wonky. Anyways,
I've been noticing that in the Orchis Raids. I've been doing multiple attacks with Mephisto.
Yeah, so I believe that's a Mephisto problem more than a Thanos. I think Thanos is great. If that was your question, what do I think? Thanos is awesome. I think he's pretty cool. I like him.
Right. And even better now that he works properly.
Yes. Holy moly, he works right. Yeah, he's great.
Now, this calendar that we got last week did scare some people, because we've had this Cosmic Threat event. We've had this Old of Enemies going on right now, and this Greater Purpose didn't look like there was any character release or anything like that. Luckily, in yesterday's blog that cleared up Shattered Dimension, cleared up some of the bugs for Endgame Thanos and Gore. More Gladiator shards coming. What they say, Gladiator character shards are on the way. You have a chance to earn up to 100 Gladiator shards in next week's Greater Purpose event. We'll have more information in our Friday blog. So it looks like this event that is starting in September 3rd through 8th is going to be the release event for Gladiator. Glad that he's getting an event, but we had to wait a long time for Hanks Pym's event. That was, I believe, 25 days. I believe this is going to be 28 days. Why so long? Why are they waiting so long between these events? Why are they keeping it so close to their chest? Is it just something specific for the Illuminati because they were doing something different with Captain Britain, and now Annihilators are an arena team, so that's different? I mean, should we expect this from the Orcas team? That's the next team that's coming?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they do anything, but we were talking about malice versus incompetence, and the icon next to Greater Purpose, what are those the little wristbands or whatever?
Yeah.
Why couldn't that be a picture of Gladiator? That to me speaks to malice. They did not want us to know until the last minute. They could have disclosed on this calendar very easily with a Gladiator face right there instead of those. What are those things called? The little thing, the wristband.
Gauntlets.
Yeah, that's what bothers me. Why did they delay until the last second yesterday of whether or not there was a Gladiator event at all, or if, they did state, they did, I'll be honest, they did state, I know that that has something to do with the quantum bands and that's what it is for there, but they could have also put a face of Gladiator there, so you knew it was a Gladiator event.
They put Kang's face here. They put Nebula's face here. It's behind you, but Beta Ray Bill's face is right behind you. So they've done it in past calendars as well. So
yeah, I don't like that. It feels like they're being shady with withholding information as to the nature and timing of the Gladiator event. And the first we've heard of it is this morning. Or yesterday. They did say initially that on the 6th of August, how many weeks ago, that 3 weeks ago or something, 3 weeks ago, they said, these Orbs is not the event. They did say that.
They said that,
but they didn't say when. They didn't say when it was coming, and they delayed Hank. They delayed Gladiator, and I believe their plan is, from what they've said to us, is that there's more shards and free-to-play players are going to get more shards off the event, but they're delaying it. Yeah. So it's delayed, and then there's, in theory, supposed to be more shards. I'm not sure if that's true or not. We haven't ran the data, but it feels very deliberate. It feels free-to-play unfriendly. It feels like it's an added incentive for spenders because they have a period of exclusivity, and this is a thing that they're doing right now with specifically with diamonds. So diamonds are sometimes put into leaderboard events, which are auctions. They're auctions, right? So and then they're pretty much saying, hey, we're going to honor that auction for a period of 2 months before we put the diamonds into the elite store. So they're creating exclusivity, and it looks like now that has also moved on to the events for character releases, where it used to be like let's say on average, like a 10-day window from the initial offer to the event, and now they're dragging it out. Hank was 25 days.
This is going to be 28.
Yeah, so this is very deliberate. And you asked me about Orchis and all this. I don't know. They've said that they're trying new things, right? How many times have they said that? We're trying new things. And so far, those new things, they haven't wanted our feedback on.
No.
Those new things.
It's FOMO marketing. It's all new FOMO marketing tactics. How are you going to build that FOMO from your player base? How are you going to get them to open their wallets? They're trying new things for you to get you to open your wallet.
No, and they're not asking for, I can only speak to envoys. I don't know what they do with player voice or player experience.
It seems like they're telling them different things than they're telling us.
Well, I mean, you got to understand that Scopely gets information from a lot of different places, right? They get information from envoys, and that's just one piece of the puzzle. Then they have players' voice movement. Then they also have a player experience department, right? Which they have key community members, alliance leaders, and heavier spenders or whatever. And then they also get data from all forms of social media.
Reddit, Discord, Facebook, everywhere else.
We're trying new things. They have not been asking us at all for our feedback on it. They don't even want our feedback. They're like, we're going to do it this way. We're trying something new. It is kind of what they've been saying on a lot of this stuff. And no, thank you to your suggestions, or they don't tell us until the last minute when we know right when it goes live. Or we make suggestions.
This could be better, and then it's like, no, we're going to do it this way, and the community gets hot, and then they end up doing it the way we suggested anyway. It's like, what's going on?
Well, and I don't want to make it sound like it's always that way, but it's just been on some, which is
we remember the bad ones though. I remember the bad ones.
In general, they're open to suggestions. In general, they want to hear from us. In general, they want feedback. But it really stuck out to me on some of the player unfriendly things. They weren't interested. Does that make sense? I mean, in general, hey, this team is coming out. What do you think? Hey, play this team. What do you think? Try this raid. What do you think? Try this. Or here's a blog, and what do you think of the blog is going to create? I mean, most of the time they wanted feedback, and I was kind of a little bit startling when some of this stuff that's been perceived by the community as player unfriendly, they were not interested in feedback.
It seems a little different the past 3 to 6 months. They didn't seem to want as much feedback the past 3 to 6 months. I don't know if that's just the feeling I'm getting or if that's accurate, but it feels like something's changed a little bit. And I guess it's just trying new things. I don't know.
I mean, I'm glad that they did make the changes to Shattered Dimension. That was feedback given to them last Friday. They kind of halfway took the suggestions that were offered by some of the envoys, and then then they waited, then they published the half answer, and then when they saw the community feedback where it wasn't satisfactory, then they backpedaled fully on it, but they could have known this on Friday, right?
They did know this on Friday. They did know this on Friday.
This is going to be a problem. Like, they were explicitly told the community will not like this. I don't like this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't like this.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just me. It was, I think Dorky initiated a lot of that conversation. But anyways, there was a lot of people talking about it.
Yes. Now, a lot of people are talking about the Orchis Raids as well, because we got this a little different than we've had with the raids in the past. Normally, with the Doom Raids, the Incursion Raids, we've had the older teams towards the end. Right now, we have the older teams in the middle. Not sure if this is a huge problem because of the way they restructured the rewards and things like that, but does this mean that we're going to be getting more and more raids sooner than we've had in the past? I know each raid took about a year and a half for us to get a new one. With these Orchis Raids, wanted to sell new teams, do you think there's going to be more raids on the way now that you see that they're releasing these teams in this order?
I do think so, because basically this raid is set up with a significant blockade in tech that is very challenging. So
and Mystic.
Well, I'll come back to Mystic, which is the tech is miserable for almost everyone, is what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if you have maxed out everything. The tech is challenging. There's not a correct tool. Now, Mystic is that way also if you do not have Mephisto. So
I would argue maybe I have a baby Mephisto, that's why, but it's still freaking hard, even with a Mephisto.
I'm not having a hard time.
All right, maybe I suck. Maybe I suck. Maybe my Mephisto's too small.
So, the first two nodes, you just throw out the special exposed, and then you're just waiting around for Vol to explode them. That's all it is. You're putting out the exposes, Vol's getting energy, and nobody else is doing anything other than Mephisto Ultimate and Vol Ultimate. And then the last node is a problem because there's a 3P or
this guy.
Yeah, there's a 3P. Well, they're in most of the nodes, but I can't remember if it's the third or the second node. There's a 3P. I think it's the final node. There's a 3-piece of Gladiators, so you're not going to land the exposes, so you got to drop Gladiator under 50% before you start getting any benefit. I mean, it's a double tap at most with Mephisto. So the Mystic section is hard, and it's now a situation of have and have nots, where some people have Mephisto, and also the Ares. If you have the Ares passive, in my alliance, they're running in there with the Ares passive, so they don't get the safeguard on.
Couple more weeks, about 4 weeks, I'll get the Ares passive.
Yeah. So your question was, once they sell everybody these two teams, the raid, in theory, will be easier. And are they going to introduce a new raid and continue that? I think so. I think the plan
seems like that.
Yeah, I think the cycle of it being like it is now, creating a problem, selling a solution, then restarting that cycle seems to be faster. Where in the past, I believe it was closer to like a 9-month cycle. Maybe they're moving towards a 3 to 4 month cycle with this, if I were to guess.
Yeah, and 2 Dark Dimensions in a year. It used to be 1 per year. We're moving so fast in Marvel Strike Force now.
Yeah, they're doing different things.
They are. Now, what do you think about this team, this Sentinel team? I know you said you didn't look at the kits too much, but as far as the character choice, Sentinel, we have Nimrod, we have Omega Sentinel, and reworks the Lady Deathstrike, reworks the Scientist Supreme. What do you think about the selection of characters for this tech raid team?
What do you mean, selection of characters, like the characters?
Yeah, like this Orchis team. We have Sentinels. Are these characters that you are happy coming to the game?
Yeah,
indifferent, or like they could have chose some other characters. I wish they had some other characters here.
Bastion. And a lot of people wanted like Master Mold and things like that. I guess, but I don't have a problem with the character select. Now I don't have a lot to say about this team because I've tested it. That's all. Okay. So I don't have a lot to say.
All right. Lady Deathstrike and Scientist Supreme. Lady Deathstrike got a very minimal update. She got some huge base stats though, and she should be good just from those base stats. Scientist Supreme got a pretty beefy update to her kit. What do you feel is going to be her value outside of this team? Any value outside this team? Any theory crafting for her? Or you think she's going to be stuck just to Orchis when we're talking about the War and Cosmic Crucible?
The audience will have to wait for that answer.
Okay. All right, so about this team's release, not so much about the team because I know you've been testing them, but about their release, do you think their release is going to take as long as the Illuminati and the Annihilators, or is going to be kind of a normal release that we're used to? Because this is more of a raid team, not a special Captain Britain's thing, not a special arena team. This is a raid team. Are they going to be normal, or is this lengthy release like the trend now?
I hope not, but I suspect it is.
All right, we will see. Let me know your predictions down below, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and couple changes, I think more for the user interface, and hopefully this makes it a lot easier for people. But one thing, the Elite Store update, instead of having the red star orb in the normal section, it now is in the Elite section, and person in gold and silver and gold promotion credits for elite characters were moved from the Elite Store, which I guess is fine. So when we go to the Elite Store right now, we look at the orbs. We have the red star orbs here. We have the diamond orbs here. All of them got moved from the supply section, and then now it just seems a little cleaner. What do you think of this new user interface for red stars, diamonds, things like that?
I have no complaints. I think this is a great change.
Cool. And one more other thing. Now, we did get 10x raid orbs at one point. That was before they had the solution for the open all when we were missing that. They reverted that, so now it will take, you'll have to open more of these orbs, these elite orbs and various raid orbs to get that. I think the overall effect is the same, and I don't think it matters too much because of the slider that we have right now. Any thoughts on this 10x raid orbs?
I think this is great. I think the slider is great. I believe with the 10x orbs there was a chance of getting clumped rewards and getting a large amount of one piece.
I do remember getting that.
Yeah. So I think this fixes that.
Yeah, so we get more variety of pieces instead of one big.
This is gonna lower the variance.
I forgot about that. That was bad. Yeah, this is a good change when you.
Yeah, this is a good change. I believe this is a good change.
Cool. All right, and that's about it. Good stuff happening. You ready for the fist bump already? Are you ready for this Cosmic Crucible tournament? Are you ready for the new Cosmic Crucible tournament? The new team, the new Orchis, Odin. Are you everything? We got a lot coming up in this update.
So you know how Bronze finisher sometimes he does the.
Oh, let's do that.
Do you do that when you do your fighting? I know you're a competitive fighter at this point.
I should. Just to throw off my opponents, just like throwing my fingers in their face. All right, guys. Good stuff. Looking, and it looks like the devs are going to keep going, making some up and down decisions, but eventually, hopefully, everything turns out right. It ends up good. Any final thoughts, Mobile?
I think we said enough. I think we're good for now.
We've said it all, Valley Club. If you want to check out what we said, check out this video again. If you want to go to MobileGamer's channel to check out his thoughts eventually on the Orchis team, check out his channel. And I'll see you guys next time. If you didn't already, leave the video a like. It is free. Tremendously helps out the YouTube algorithm and the ValleyFlyin channel. And if you want to see one of the best characters ranked from best to worst in Marvel Strike Force, check out the video up there. I'll see you guys next time. Are you ready for this brawler? Fist, all right, multiple fist bumps. ValleyFlyin, MobileGamer, out.